came to my meetup. I think at a meetup June 6th. He came out, flew out, and was a special guest and speaker. San Diego bigger ticket items as far as entry points and exit points. And when you do multifamily renovations, it's long-term bills. These are 6 months, 8 months, a year, year and a half, plans, permits, raising capital. It's very similar to single family, but more wood, more money, more time, more profit, more risk, right? When you build a 8-unit, when you knock down a home and you build an 8-unit ADU or mini house or small community, it takes time, right? And you really have to know your numbers. The margin for error gets tighter, but again, you make more money. So he flew out for my meetup June 6th. I've been connected with him for a long time. He went to high school with my brother, but he popped in town real quick earlier this week. And he texted me at night. He said, "Man, I'm in town. You want to grab a coffee?" Gerald was around too. He connected with Gerald. We went to Peace Coffee in Elk Grove, and man, I got some good nuggets, and I'll share those. But deeper than the nuggets, I'm gonna tell you like the thing I keep remembering regarding like the importance of being part of a community. Obviously, there's not even a charge. It takes your time to get up on a Sunday and mastermind, right? If you don't get any information from a mastermind per week, because maybe let's say you know a lot of this stuff that was discussed, you get charged up, and your peers can remind you of some of the things you're supposed to be doing. We all have a whole lot of things going on, and so again, just that reminder to keep grinding and the why we're in real estate investing is amazing. So Gerald was there. Gerald, give me one key takeaway from that meetup with me, you, and Chris.
Man, I don't know where to start, bro.
Let me get one. And the baristas at Peace Coffee, man, they was holding the camera for us. They had the coffee laid out for us.
Great, man.
They said, "Come back whenever you guys." They thought we were celebrities. They didn't know we were local guys. But hey, I ran with it.
Now, what I can say, man, is besides meeting up with you and Chris, man, it was a pleasure talking with y'all. It was just the being in that conversation and seeing the way you and Chris, how y'all talk and how y'all move, was mind blowing to me because y'all move a lot faster. You guys are way more sophisticated in the multi-family space. And for me to just sit there and just listen, man, everything was just mind blowing to me, man. So if I could just dial it down to one thing, it's just the way you guys synergize, right? It's the energy you guys bring to each other and the nurturing the relationship. Because right before we had left, before me and Chris left, you try to reel him back in. I was like, "Hey man, did the shoes fit? Did the shoes fit?" And I didn't know you had got them yet, but it was just like that little small detail and how you nurture your relationships, how you take care of your people, man. Like that's the smallest thing that I took away from it was like, man, Jake take care of his people. Chris takes care of his community, and that's my biggest takeaway.
You know what? Thank you. And I obviously that shoe thing was confident, not even confidential. It wasn't nothing to be noted, but I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna tell you something. In all my success in real estate, even prior to real estate, any of my business ventures, what I noticed is that pure generosity can get you a long way, right? And when I was a real estate agent full time, one of the things I remembered is like I would run and grab a coffee sometimes because I had coworkers. I mean, what do you have to drink? What are you having to drink? But that's just how I was raised, right? I grew up in Sacramento, so I kind of multicultural, Asian, Hispanic, Black. When I was younger, I thought I was all the races, to be honest with you, because I had like neighbors that were so diverse. And my neighbors were my brothers. I'd eat at their house, spend the night at their house. My brother would pee in their bed. They blame me, right? And this was like from a little kid. And one of the things I noticed that you always break bread with people you're connecting with. And so Chris Luna, who I connected with a few times, and we had done just some variety of things together. When he flew out to my event June 6th, he was actually pretty busy, and I knew it. And I didn't know if he was going to make it. So he had texted me the morning of and said, "Bro, I can't make it. I'm pretty busy." And I understood that. I wasn't mad about it. And I tried to like order his ticket in advance and fly him out here, but I just couldn't get the commitment from him. So the event had to go on. I did the network. I did the mastermind. And halfway through the first half of the mastermind, Chris Luna comes to the door with his luggage. He was like, "I got you. I was always coming, right? I was always going to come support you. And I appreciate you supporting me." So it meant a whole lot to me because, yeah, he was always coming the whole time. And he wouldn't take the flight money. He wouldn't take any of those things. But when I look at the importance of acknowledging people you're where's the value at, right? Somebody could bring you a whole lot of value. or work with you, or not bring you any value. You can bring them value on the front end. But sometimes in this industry, because there's some things going on, I see people, they'll take. They won't say thank you. And Maya Angelou said, people will never remember what you do for them, but they will always remember how you make them feel. And my intentions are always to be authentic. But anybody I connect with, I want to make them feel like I do care, because I do. And I want them to feel like I do have their back, because I do. And so that was just after the event, because he wouldn't take the flight money, I just sent him a care package to his address. And so I was confirming that he got the shoes. But in short, that's how that works. But hey, we're going to dive right into it. Does anybody have a win for the week? A deal that they put together? I know Justin closed up a deal, so congratulations to you. Any real estate investing wins? Any contracts? Any off-market deals locked up? Any strategies that anybody are beginning to employ this week that they kind of want to talk about, share with the group?
Well, I was in a Zoom with Gerald earlier this week and got some good information and some things to put into place. So for me, that was a good start.
Right.
We'll see how things pan out this week with the, going into action.
Good. Instagram welcome. We have on this screen right here, we have the community. I have another screen going on right here with folks from Instagram. If you look at the Mastermind, get in the room with some big people like we are on this other screen. Make sure you send us a DM101 and we'll send you the link. We would love to have you part of this community. We're growing, we're making things happen. The ultimate goal is for this community to not only Mastermind, share information, break down concepts about real estate investing. It's about getting somebody into their first deal. And in advance of the deal, because we were just talking about value, Justin and Gerald didn't know each other from a can of paint, and they've connected. They've mastermind. Those guys have each other's back, and what's going to happen is Justin's going to have a deal. Gerald's going to have a deal. One of them's going to need money. One of them's going to need an answer to a problem that can help them overcome and grow their career, and that's the benefit of building community. So Instagram, send me a message, DM101, and we'll get you the information so you can be part of our community, and we appreciate you today. So today I'm diving. We have been networking, and I appreciate you guys all for networking and coming together in the comment section of our school community. A lot of information there. Sheena has been dropping freaking jewels in there, right? A lot of activities, a lot of great questions. And one of the good questions that came to mind was, what is the risk that's associated with real estate investing? There's a lot of risk. There is. It's inherent risk. Some of the risk is standard for investing. Now, when I look at investing, people talk about the stock market. They talk about growing a business. They talk about a lot of things. All of these things have risk. But driving from work to home has risk. You can get hit by a car, right? So understanding those risks and being able to hedge those risks and make a calculated decisions as you're navigating can really minimize those risks, okay? So some people say there's no risk. There is risk, right? But if you understand that risk, you can make the executive decision when you're trying to overcome it. So I have a few things that I'm going to go over today. It's called the inherent risk of investing, right? And I picked out three. There's many risks, but these are different risks that I think are important for anybody beginning in real estate investing, or if you're already in real estate investing, this should be a reminder. Number one is underestimating the repair costs when looking at deals. This is Deal Mastery 101. So these risks are mainly associated with the deal, right? The second one is overestimating the resale value. I see that very frequent for any investor, but oftentimes beginning investors. The third one is misjudging the commitment of navigating a project. So that's another risk that if you don't understand it, you will get yourself in a lot of trouble. And I'll share with you a quick story. When I first got into real estate investing, I had done a lot of activity. But my first big flip was a duplex on the east side of Stockton, right? East side Okieville. They say east side Okieville, never rat, never will. It can be a little rough over there, but you can find some very distressed properties. And so the deal I got into, I was knocking it down. I think I might have paid like $160,000 for it, right? And I did not know how much it was going to cost me to actually get the repair done from a very scholastic perspective, a mathematical perspective. I just knew it was cheap. And what I did is when I got it in contract, I also took a couple of my buddies over there that had success in real estate investing. And I said, what do you think about this? What do you think about this deal as I had it in contract? Every single one of them, I remember my boy Gus Benuelos. He said, oh man, blindfolded, you're going to make $100,000. I was like, okay, that's all I need to know. But what does $100,000 mean if Gus has a skill set or a strategy to get material supplies or cheap labor? The more experience you have, the more people you have, in your wheelhouse to get things bid, right? I just put a AC unit on my property in Stockton Commerce on Wednesday. My first bid was $11,500. I brought another guy. I always tell the truth to these guys. I said, look, this is what I got to bid for, $11,000, right? I brought another guy. He said I could do it for $10,500. So I was going to go with the $10,500 for sure. And at the last minute, I had another guy referred to me. He came out, checked it out. He said, look, I could do it for $8,600. Give me $4,000 now and give me the rest when it's done. He said, I'm not worried about the money. I want to build a relationship. Sound like you do a lot of investing. I'll give it to you almost at cost. So I didn't even understand that when I got into my first deal, the ability to navigate contractors or subcontractors. But I say this to say that my risk was I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Then as I got into the project, the biggest thing I didn't understand, because I thought it was going to be a knockout of the park, is I didn't understand just how much work I was going to have to do. I worked at that project for 101 days straight. Some of the things I didn't know how to do, I had to bring in somebody to fix up somebody else's work, open up walls, saw rats, termites. I got videos. I'll send them to you guys if you want. So I underestimated the commitment it was going to take, right? And then when I look at resale value, I remember Gus said, blindfolded, you'll make $100,000. I never looked at what I was going to sell the project for. I was so linear. My thinking was linear. I was like, I just want to flip. So I put the money into it. I did all the work, never missed a day. And then when it got time to sell it, I was like, well, how much am I going to sell this for? I should have known that in advance. But I was a baby in real estate investing at that point. And so all of those boxes could have got me in a lot of trouble. One of the things that did happen is COVID hit, and so home values increased significantly. So even though some of the projects I did, I had to redo because I had bad talent trying to save money, and I spent more than $100,000 on the property, the lift that I got from COVID allowed me to exit with a whole lot more money. And that was really good. So I caution you that there are risks in real estate investing, and you have to go to your fundamentals on how you enter a deal, what you do while you're inside a deal, and what you're going to do on the exit of a deal. Okay? Gerald, have you ever lost money on a deal?
Absolutely. Yes.
Has anybody? Leonard, you're in here. Isaiah, you're in here. Sarah, you're in here. Zach, what about you? You lost money on a deal before?
For me, no. Yes.
Not personally.
1 second, Zach. We have Sarah. Sarah, you know what? Let me take a quick pause. Sarah, can you tell us who you are, where you're from, and why you're in real estate investing for those of us that don't know you? I know Sarah, she's heavily engaged.
I actually know Zach.
Okay.
We used to work together. And I just noticed in the group. But my name is Sarah. I do live in Stockton now. I just recently moved back out here. As far as career-wise right now, I am in the music industry, but I've always had a huge passion for real estate. So my main goal is I want to learn as much as possible as far as when it comes into wholesaling and flipping. And I'm just pretty much like an open book. So I'm willing to take anything as far as advice, any tips, because I am new to all this. And yeah, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous, Sarah. We welcome everybody. Give Sarah a warm welcome. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome. Sarah, Justin's the only one that's nervous. He's the only one that's allowed to be nervous in the group. All right, Justin's a little shy. All right, so that should give you the confidence to say whatever you want.
Get out of it.
Okay, absolutely. Isaiah, are you there?
I'm here. What's going on?
Isaiah, really good guy, does a lot of wholesaling, and he's a connector. He's out of Oakland. Isaiah, who are you? Where you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
How's everybody doing? I'm Isaiah. I'm a realtor here in the Bay Area. I also do a little bit of investing, and I also work with wholesalers. So I try to work with getting off-market properties and getting them locked in at a good rate. I work with a few hard money lenders, things of that nature. So my biggest thing right now, I'm really trying to just pivot over from the wholesaling aspect and getting more into on the investing side. That was my main goal back when I got my real estate license. I wanted to become a realtor to learn how to navigate through contracts and learn to
the language of real estate, you know. So when I do transition over to investing, hopefully full time, I know all the loopholes, the ins and outs, how to do that, like contracts, and how to put those contingencies in place if you know, the property is not what it's looking like. So that's just a little bit of my background, man. I'm here to network, share information, and learn from you know, this community. And hopefully, you know, we be networking and partnering up on deals.
Good. There's nothing hopeful about your deal is that you're close, you're grinding, you're making it happen, brother. We just got to get you over the hill. And you're really discussing, you're trying to understand the risk. That's everybody has the vulnerability, the concern, or the fear of what could happen in a real estate deal. And that's what we're going over today. We're going to continue to go over that. Leonard, you there? Awesome. I don't think Leonard's there, but let's jump right into it. Sarah and Isaiah, can you drop your IG handles in our group message? Everybody would love to follow you, connect with you, and stay close knit, right? Because you never know when somebody can provide the information or partner on a deal. Let's stay connected, okay?
Absolutely.
I'm going to dive right into it. All right.
Quick question. Since
Please.
I'm new to this, how would I add that on as far as my Instagram on here?
There is going to be there's a comment section. Let me see if I can help you out here. Who knows that answer?
I'll do it.
You know what I'll do is I'll drop your info. If you message me in the community, I'll drop your info in the group conversation, and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Sounds good.
Right on. So let's get right.
If you're using it on your phone,
Yeah.
at the bottom of the screen where you see like the hang up
You make
button,
me nervous,
the camera,
man.
the mute button,
You're
those
crushing
three
it.
little
You're
dots on the right side.
I see it.
There we go.
If you hit the three dots, you hit in-call messages. You can the group chat.
All right, G, we appreciate you.
Right in there.
Send us a message, DM101, and we'll get you in. So let's dive right into it, okay? Let's dive right into it. This is going to be some good information that you're gonna need, you're gonna love. I'll be quick about it as well. So risk. Fortunately, I got out of that duplex in Stockton because of the growth of the market. But all of those risks, had the market conditions been any different, I would have failed and fell out on my face. The other big thing is I got litigated on that property because implemented was landlord-tenant law. As you all know, in California, huge laws that give tenants a lot of rights, and I think that tenants deserve rights. But because of those rights, the tenant sued me. I ended up winning in court, but I spent a lot of money on legal fees and a few other fees. And so we have to understand the risk, because a lot of the wholesale deals and off-market deals and deals that are really good deals, they often possess tenants that probably don't want to move out. And understanding how to navigate these things can get you a success or cost you a lot of money, like myself. And that's why, again, we're coming back to risk. So the first one is underestimating repair costs. The competitive advantage I've been able to have myself, and I see others have in real estate investing, is they really understand how much it's going to cost to get a project done. When somebody sends you an off-market deal, or you go see a deal, you have to go to the deal and they'll tell you, hey, I got this 3-2 for $250,000. When you look at the deal, you have to walk the property and see how much exposure you have. When you analyze it, it's easy to see comps. You can get that information. It's easy to see the ability to resell and find that end user, depending on what your exit strategy is. But what's not always, it can be easy if you get good at it, but what's not consistently a skill that many people possess is what it's going to cost to get this project done. So if you're buying a property at $250 and the ARV, the after repair, is $350, within that you have $100,000 to do improvements, holding costs, any other expenses, realtor fees, and get it back on the market for a profit. And so oftentimes, if you don't have that number right, it'll either cost you when you get into the deal, or you'll prevent yourself from getting into a deal because you really don't know how much it costs. So you got bigger costs like roofs, AC units, foundations, electrical. Zach was just giving me a story about a deal he's going through right now where there's some plumbing issues, and nobody really understands the complete cost and scope of the work. And trying to get this deal over the hill is going to take some negotiation from Zach to get it done. But if the buyers don't know and the agents don't know, nobody knows. Then the uncertainty and the unknown will have somebody cancel the deal. So I've seen people write offers on deals. I got to get the deal. I got to get the deal. They want to get the deal, right? Not really very sure how much it's going to cost. Maybe they bring in a handyman or a contractor. Contractors love work, but they don't take on the risk. They don't put up the money. They don't they don't put up the time. They don't lock up the deal. So when a contractor comes that you really don't, he doesn't understand, or he really wants a job, they say this: "Oh man, this is easy. We can get this done in 6 weeks." Well, how much does it cost? I mean, not much. We can get it done in 6 weeks. My guy will be in and out. Well, once you close on that deal, and that contractor gives you that commitment, contractors are notorious for what's called a change order, right? So you get into the deal, you're given the confidence of this deal based off the contract because you might not know. You get into the deal and the contractor comes back to you with the change order. He said, "Listen, man, we got the flooring done, we got the kitchen done, but listen, it's just going to cost more money. We have to get this plumbing done." Sometimes they know that in advance, right? And so what do? You're halfway through a deal. You're invested on the down payment. You have the deal locked up. You got 30 grand to the deal already. And then the contractor says, "Hey, we have to change out all the electrical, and the panel and the electrical is going to cost you $11,000. Well, you didn't have that in your projections. So where do you get the $11,000 from? The $11,000 can, one, screw up your profits, but also if you had a financial budget to navigate this deal and you don't have another source of money, because as we're getting into real estate investing early on, we always don't have a ton of capital. Where are you going to get the money from? That's something to think about, right? I'll tell you another problem with that as well. When you underestimate your repair costs, all of us should be leveraging private money or hard money or other creative financial sources. When you get on the phone with hard money companies, they really, really, really understand investing because that's all they do. Okay. And so with a hard money relationship I have in particular, I have grown and had success with them enough to where I say, "Hey, I want to buy this property. It's on this street. It's $250. Can you send the money?" They do it. But let me tell you what caught me early on is because I was underestimating or not estimating at all the cost. When I would get on the phone with the hard money company, I would say, "Hey man, Jason, this is Jacob. I'm looking at a deal. I want to know if you can fund it. You put up 70%, I'll put up 30. We'll knock the deal down. I'll pay for my own repair costs." They say, "Okay, send us the address." They'll hop on Zillow and be able to see the same pictures that I can see, or let's say, "Send us some pictures or video." The next question they're going to ask you after they see the video is how much is it going to cost you to repair this property? Watch this. I mean, my uncle, he does plumbing, and my brother, he said he'll help me out with the roof, and you know, I was on YouTube and I could do flooring. It can't be that hard. Deal killer. They're not going to finance the deal because they understand the script, the tonality, and the verbiage, and how somebody should be speaking if they had the experience. They could also pick up the lack of confidence that you don't know what you're going to be doing. So this is what they'll tell you. "You know what? This is not really a deal for us. We're going to pass on this one. Maybe we'll work together in the future." That basically means no, and you don't know what you're doing, and we don't want to work with you because you're going to put us in a position where we have to foreclose on the home, and we don't want to foreclose on the home. We just want to make interest payments. We're doing a business. We're not in the business of taking back homes and getting lawyers involved. So not knowing that cost can be costly in growing relationships. That can be financial relationships that can push you through a real estate deal and allow you to scale your real estate career and be in a position to be able to call and say, "Jason, this is Jacob. I need 250. Jason, I got 4 projects I want to do. Can you secure 1.5? "Sure, Jake, no problem." These are conversations that happen, right? And so, again, the inherent risk, there's a physical risk of a house. But as we know, we're all about value and relationships. If you speak like that to a hard money lender, guarantee you will never have a relationship with them. The blackball you, okay? So how do we make sure we don't underestimate the cost? One of the things you do want to do is you do want to get aligned with a contractor that really knows what they're doing and is honest and is willing to take their time out to connect with you and say, "Hey, I know you haven't gotten to your first deal, but I know what I'm doing. I believe in you. I'm a good person. What I'll do is help you navigate, understand the numbers, and we can get them written down and help you get that roadmap so you can have a mental transition to know what's going to happen next." Once you have, so you don't have to know the information as fact or be a master at it to hop on the phone with the hard money lender. You need to have the information in your hand and be able to email it to them and say, "It's going to cost this. Here's an itemized list of what it's going to cost." And as you work with that contractor, you're gaining the knowledge and the verbiage to have a perspective of what it's going to take. So a hard money lender won't beat you up for not knowing because you're not a contractor. But if you have a map, you're great. If you have no map, you're gone. So if you get a contractor that's willing to work with you like that, what you're willing to do is give him or her your jobs as you start getting them. And they may not even be the cheapest, but we don't want the cheapest. If somebody wants to support us and ensure our success, I would rather give them some of my jobs in the beginning, if not all of my jobs, if the number's right. So that's the whole concept and the brief analysis of underestimating repair costs and the cost of not understanding those costs. Any questions?
Yeah. When we're trying to connect with some contractors for our first deal, would you recommend we find contractors who've worked with real estate investors in the past?
Yes. Yes. What you're going to find is contractors that work with a lot of real estate investors, they really don't like real estate investors. Because it's one of those things where it's like, how much you want? Well, how cheap can you do it? And real estate investors, we're always trying to save money and pinch. We are. And so I would be cautious of that too. In that dynamic of the contractor relationship, get your money, but don't pinch those guys if you want to have a long lasting relationship. But honestly, for me, he or she doesn't have to have worked with a real estate investor in the past. He or she just needs to know what they're doing. Because see, I'm the leader. I'm the visionary. I'm putting up the money. I'm taking on the risk. Do you know what you're doing as you're walking through my property? Are you professional? Are you calling me back? Can you send me an itemized list of what it's going to cost to get this done? Can you show me some of the work that you've done? Hey, how many projects have you done in the last 4 months? I've done 3. Can you send me an address? Can you send me some photos? Can you send me the number of your previous client? Maybe I can give them a call and get some insight. But again, early on, because you haven't done any business with them, they're probably not going to be open to the spit. That's it. That stuff takes time. So you want to see how you can balance time, information, and work with somebody that can get the job done and is willing to invest in you on the front end, meaning help you get this information with you knowing you're going to help them have the job in the future or endorse them in the future. That way it's a win-win. We both got to win. It's business. Justin, what you got for me?
No, I think what you're saying about the contractors is definitely key. For one, you know, the repair costs, but also the time. If you have holding costs with your hard money loan, that's a whole nother thing that's going to come into play with you and the contractor on the same page. So definitely a big asset that you need on your team.
Mm-hmm. Good. And you know what, because Gerald does construction as well. When I connect with the hard money lender for the first time, as I'm getting to my first deal, this is like one-offs that really can help you. You can tell your contractor, hey, look, I want to get you on a 3-way when I call the hard money lender. That way, when the hard money lender gets on the phone and you don't know the answer, your contractor, because you know you bought him a coffee or her a coffee, you spent a little bit of time together, they already know how this is going to go because you prepped them. So when the hard money lender, the private money lender says, well, how much is this going to cost? You go say, you know, we ran some numbers. Just say, Justin, my contractor. Yeah, we ran some numbers. Justin, remind me, what did we say? Even if we never talked about it. Justin, it's your turn to speak. Help me. Save me. Right? And that's how you leverage that. That make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have to know everything. I just have to have the right people to know everything. And this is how you have a level of fluidity and confidence as you navigate through. Your job is not to know everything. Your job is to have the right people in your tool belt in which they know everything and can help you get the right information so you can get the deal over the hill. How does that sound?
So being that you've done a few flips and been investing in real estate for some time, I know each property is different because you're trying to get to that ARV value and what the homes at that value have.
Right.
But is there any like rule of thumb, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, plus or minus, you know, a few hundred square feet, 1,200 square foot home?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an idea of, okay, I know I'm gonna need to do floors.
Got you. I got you.
Is there any type of like?
I got you. Okay.
I'd be able to answer that if you need me to.
Please. Thank you.
So for per square footage, and this is only in California, for your basic lipstick remodel, you want to do $20 per square feet. For your basic renovation, is going to be $40 square feet.
What's the difference between a remodel and renovation?
So your lipstick is gonna be like fixtures, paint, floors, all the finishes, and your basic renovation is gonna be like kitchen cabinets, your floors, maybe some drywall work, maybe some patching on the outside or whatnot, maybe some doors or some trim. And then your gut renovation is gonna be $60 per square feet, so that's where you're gonna be moving walls, maybe reconfiguring some of the plumbing and electrical. And then your destroyed properties, your complete built up, are gonna be like $75 per square foot. So you got 20, 40, 60, 75.
Bingo. Hey, Gerald, when you get the chance, can you, even if you run it through ChatGPT for the formation, can you pop something like that together and drop it in our group? That'd be bonus. For those of you on Instagram, send us a message, DM101. That way we can make sure you get that information that Jared's sharing, because that is a really good benchmark. It is. And I look at it like this: anything with an ARV of 400,000, right? You really got to determine how much you want to make. We're gonna talk about buy boxes next week. Are you trying to make 35,000 a flip, 50,000 a flip? What are you trying to make? You got to make something, right? Anything I'm exiting at $400,000, I don't spend less than 75 a flip. I don't. And then I have holding costs. So easy, I can come up with $100,000. So I know that anything that's ARV is 400, buying it at 300 is just never going to work for me at all, unless it's a real light flip. But even then, you don't really see those in this market, right? But we'll dive deeper into those numbers in about 3 weeks. We're going to do some analysis that really dive deep into it. Gerald, share that information. But again, I mean, I'm not seeing anything out there that you're getting away with without 75,000 in expenses on the entry, on the operations internally, and then on the exit and holding costs and things of that nature. Okay, let's dive into number 2, which is overestimating the resale value. I see that notoriously when you start connecting with like wholesalers, right? That's a good source to get great deals. They'll send you emails or they'll send you a text message. They'll say like 123 Commerce Street, ARV 400, purchase price 320, improvements only $20,000. So you'll say 320 plus 20, that's 340. The exit is 400,000. I'm going to make 60 grand. It doesn't work like that. And oftentimes from wholesalers, they're giving you the best case possible. But it's just not a wholesaler thing. Let me be very careful. I'm not beating up a wholesaler because I have strong relationships with them. What I'm saying is that when you get into a property, or very much like the very first duplex that I flipped, I never even established the exit value. I never established the ARV, the after repair value. I didn't take a deep analysis of the comps. So you have to be able to understand comps, comparisons, be able to run an analysis of properties that have sold. Because what happens is oftentimes our end user is going to be somebody coming in with the FHA or conventional loan. And it is going to be left into the hands of their appraiser to go out there and establish a value of our project after we finish it, right? We believe that it's worth 400,000 at exit. And that's the top end, because you see properties in the neighborhood, they go from low, medium to high. The high end, you have to be the best thing since ice cream. And it's very, very easy to want to pick the 400 number, but not be able to put the 400 expense and improvements and cosmetic repairs into the property so it looks like that. So I caution everyone, one, you have to know how to run the comparisons when looking at a property. When I'm about to get in contract in a property, I need to see realistically where are the numbers going to lie. And when I do my math on exit, if the top end of the market is 400,000 for properties, and then you see your average properties at 380, and then entry properties at 360, I'm always shooting for the 380 for my property. But every single property I intend to do A work. So when I look at the math on the improvements I'm going to do, just from a personal perspective, I'm trying to be the nicest house out there. That doesn't mean I'm adding a pool. That just means the finish work and the style in which I choose will reflect most of the properties from that area. Some areas happen to be have a demographic of, let's say, the Latin community, and you see different colors or styles in a house. Some properties are in a specific location, whether it be rural or in the foothills where you see a lot of windows or snow during the winter. So the operation of gutters have to be important. So how I pick that, I always try to make sure it's A, work and very good to photos and curb appeal. Can I get that done? And are my projections at the B market? So 400, 380, 360. I always shoot for 380. Now, naturally, because I think that I'm gonna put the best product out there, I have every belief that I'm a score above that 380. But I'm conservative. I shoot for a high ARV, but when I market it and I look at my expenses, because there's always surprises and interest rates change, there's always these adjustments. I want to play my card safe and say, hey, I'm going to shoot for an after repair value of 380 after all my expenses. So far, 20 for 20, 30 for 30, I always shoot above the 400 with multiple offers because I don't cut corner and the craftsmanship is good. And my other strategy, all those things come into play. But you want to understand that and think about that very carefully as you're looking at properties. So naturally, everybody wants to have the best. Everybody wants to say, I'm the 400 number. Are you? Or some people never even look at that. And when I look at 400 number, I say, are there some comparisons that are established that allow me to put the appraiser, because I don't get to make the decision, right? The buyer's appraiser is going to go out there and establish the value. I can't come back to them and say, look at my list. I spent 100 grand. They don't care, right? They're going to go off the data and the numbers. Can I put something in front of the appraiser that's undeniable? I just sold a property in Country Club area, right? I knew the comps. And I also knew that I was the best thing out there. I was waiting for that appraiser to come back and say I didn't have the value because I already had the data. Now, sometimes appraisers blow it. When they blow it, you have the opportunity to go back to the manager and say, look, my data shows different, right? But if you overestimate and you put everything at the 400 or the top end mark, it's very easy for them to pick you apart and also come back and say, well, you know, we see your data, but listen, we're staying here. We're not moving. So that would be my strategy. And so if the deal makes sense at the B number, at the 380, right, for your exit, you do your math, you do your improvements, and if you sold at 380, you still make some money. You still make 35 grand. That means if you get multiple offers, cash offers or crazy offers, and get pushed up, that's 35,000, and anything else, we keep in the change. That's the approach you want to have. So if 35 was your exit at 380, and you get another 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and then let's say you get multiple offers, you get 40,000 more, and the appraiser gives you a blessing and says, you know what, we know that you're a little bit more than 400, but you've reestablished the comps in this neighborhood. What? You played your card safe, minimize your risk, hedged against risk, and you got all your money. That's a very conservative approach, and I think that that's an approach of wisdom that I would recommend anybody take. Do not fall in love with the high number just because you want to have the high number, because you'll get your feelings hurt. You'll find yourself you're not a real estate investing no longer. Any questions before I roll into the third one? Sarah, you got something for me?
No, not right now. I've just been taking a lot of notes.
Okay. Ulysses, welcome, brother. What's going on? All right. We're grinding through, man. We're going over the risk of real estate investing, just a few of them. And one is underestimating the improvements, right? The other one is not knowing your ARV or overestimating your exit, right? And we're going to dive into this last one, which is this is the one that it's not the most important one, but it's the one I want to run across to you guys really quickly because it is important and it has a lot of value, right? So this is misjudging the commitment of navigating a project, okay? So anytime even as a real estate agent or even as an investor, when I ask people like this, I say, hey, have you ever thought of getting into real estate investing? It's like a dichotomy, right? Guys frequently say, yeah, man, I want to get in there, man. I want to build a house for my family and retire my mom. That's a common one I see. And I always commonly see women, they say something very frequently. They always say this, and it's a beautiful thing. They say, yeah, man, I always wanted to get into interior designing. You know, I love painting, I love blinds, and I love doing kitchens. It's funny. It's like I can prompt it. I know it's going to happen. What does that tell me? Most people want to get in real estate investing, and they know the power of it. Whether it's a money thing or they say, hey, I have a artistic handle and I want to do some designing and staging, whatever it shall be, everybody tends to have that bug unanimously on all the people I speak to. But the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately, as they say, right? So oftentimes people that haven't been through a project have no idea what it takes. I fell out with my uncle about a little over a year ago. My uncle, he got his income tax back. He said, Jake, he always said, Jake, man, keep grinding. I like the real estate investing you're doing. One day when I get some money, I'm gonna get with you. So he got his income tax. He got like 10 grand back. He was like, nephew, okay, listen, I'm gonna give you the $10,000 on this next project. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm listening, uncle, what you want me to do? He's like, listen, on this next project, I'm gonna give you 10,000, and then when you're done with the project, just give me 20. I'm like, uncle, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. He's like, what? So you disrespected my money? I'll keep my money. And we haven't spoke since. And I love my uncle, right? Because my uncle doesn't understand that, that 10,000 will not do anything for this project. Money, we can find money very easily. The work that it takes to navigate this project is very, very difficult. Because you run through things like plans, like permits, like the city, like the county, like people breaking in. I just put an AC unit on a property recently. I was going to do the dual pack. The split unit. I was going to put the AC condenser outside, the furnace inside the garage, and work it like that. The reason why I didn't do that strategy, because the house won't be done for another 6 weeks, is because if I put that unit outside, they're going to steal it for sure. If they steal it and sell it back to me for $1,000, I'll buy it because I know the cost of these things. And I can't always be at this house, so it comes with risk. So the things that you're looking at when you're navigating our project, you're looking at finding the project, that can be difficult. Finding the debt, that can be difficult. Then you start to navigate it and put the pieces together. And you're showing up to this property, especially in your first deal, so frequently. You're there for 3 hours, 4 hours, getting estimates, talking on the phone, getting multiple bids, going down to the city. Then you have a fallout with the contractor because you think the contractor is trying to trick you, trying to do a recharge on you. You say, no, we agreed on 50 grand. I'm not paying more than that. And then the contractor saying, well, look, if you don't want to pay more, I'm going to leave the project as it is. So now you have to problem solve through these things. So many things that come up. But guess what? For every problem, we have solutions. That's why we have community. So we're not short of solutions. But to understand that to go through the life cycle of a project from beginning to the end, and then you get it on the market. You finally get it on the market, right? And then you have your agent market it. You call your agent after day one. How many offers do we have? No, we don't have any offers yet. 4 days later, how many offers do we have? Well, we don't have any offers yet. We have a couple showings. These things are very emotional. And what you find yourself is when you go through these projects, you're always alone. I've been doing projects so long, like I'm callous to it. Nothing really hurts my feelings about a surprise or somebody breaking in, or it comes with the territory. That's why I don't, in my mind, my exit is never at the 400 mark. It's always at the 380. Because if they steal my condenser, I don't want that to happen. But guess what? I got a trick up my sleeve. I market it and I budget on the low end, so I'm gonna be able to take care of it. I just hope it doesn't happen again. But you really have to have a stomach for this. You really have to have a community of people to lean into and lean on to, because there's so many things that take place. And so I share this with you because I want you guys all to know that you all will get into your first deal if you haven't gotten to your deal. But I need you to understand that it is going to hurt, and the hurt feels good. Well, that's actually kind of crazy. It doesn't. The hurt comes with it. It's a package deal. You can't just get the fun designing and the profitability and not get what it takes to go through it to get to it. All of these hurdles. And then after you've done a few projects, you realize that, hey, this is the nature of real estate investing. You do need grit, because all of these pieces that come together, that's what we get paid the big bucks for. And that's why you see a lot of people on the sideline. We have over 40,000 followers and network with a lot of people. They all say they want to get into real estate investing. They send you messages. They say, Jake, let's have a coffee. Jake, let's meet. Jake, let's have a Zoom. Jake, I want to pick your brain. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of us here. 8. We have IG. Some people there too. Where are they at? Because they don't want to put in the work, because they're misjudging what it takes to get through it. You don't get to just say, hey, Justin, take your time out for an hour and pour into me. That's what they want. No, you have to get up on Sunday and grind. You have to get to a project and make it happen. You have to connect with the contractor, establish trust, and say, maybe I need a 3-way Jake on this conversation because I established a relationship with him. So all of us, we've connected. You guys can call me anytime. Somebody else will want to call me on the weekend and say, hey, you're free? No. Because they're misjudging. Now, I'm not mad at them. What does it take to get through real estate? A lot. And you want me to give you an hour of it? I don't even know you. You've never even pulled up and said, I'll connect with Jacob. I'll connect with Justin. I'll connect with Zach. And so All of that to say, real estate investing, deal analysis, navigating the process of a deal. Let me be very, 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 very clear. The first one hurts. Hella bad. But that's what you got community for. But I'm prepping you for it in advance because you're going to close on your first deal. You're going to start launching some contracts and subcontractors. And like within 1 or 2 days, you're going to be like this. God damn, this hurts. There's so many moving pieces. Yes. But those are growing pains. And as you grow through real estate investing and grow through your second deal, something like windows not showing up on time, I planned for it. That's why I went 380 instead of 400. Because if I do have to hold this property extra month, the $1,300 in hard money cost was nothing because I already planned for it. But then most of the times as you begin to scale, you find that you go through projects, you're like, this project's gonna be a little bit of a headache. And you boom, 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 boom. You're like, it's 30 days, it's ready to put on the market. Hold on, I was planning for 3 months. And when I was working on my project, I popped in here to pay my guys and some trucks drove by. Some guys hopped out and said, hey, we do insulation, we do roofing. You got a roof bid? We'll beat this price. That's how I got that AC done. I wasn't even looking for another bid. This guy pulled up, drove, parked his car in the middle of the street. I told one of my guys that work for me, he's always on point. I looked at him like, I don't know who this is, we're gonna figure it out. Oh man, listen, how much for the AC? Listen, tell me the price, I'll beat it. I'll bring it tomorrow with the crane. Well, should I just save over $2,000? We go get some burgers. Those are the benefits. So you can't just have one without having the other. You get the good and you get the challenges. But when you get the challenges, you also get the good. So I want you to understand as you're diving into real estate investing, do not misjudge that this is some easy cake walk in the park. This is going to come with challenges, but you have the community here to overcome the challenges. If I could do it, you could do it for sure. And nothing can't be fixed. It's always dependent upon how much does it cost. Oh, the roof is shot. How much does it cost? The plumbing is completely shot and I didn't know it before I bought the property. Okay. How much does it cost? And it sounds like you got to hop in the deal mastery course and say, does anybody have an electrician? Anybody have a plumber? And I promise you guys, any contact I have, you have. I can tell you how much it costs and I can find somebody that could beat it. That's what I got. So we're just going to do a recap. We went over underestimated repair costs, overestimating resale value or ARV, and then misjudging the commitment of navigating real estate investing in deals in particular. Sarah, what do you got from? You got any questions?
We got one question. How do you identify a good contractor before they actually start the work? Reviews or
good. So from IG, we got a question from somebody. Who that question come from?
Sheena.
Oh, that came from Sheena. Sheena said, and she's been dropping so many jewels in the community as well. How do you identify a good contractor? That's a very good question. I'm just going to tell you up front, the contractor, real estate agent, or real estate investor relationship is very, very troublesome because it seems like we're against each other a lot of times. Very, very troublesome because investors say things about contractors. We say, you guys charge too much. And I say, I had a video that kind of went viral. I said that contractors and subcontractors, sometimes they're full of shit. They'll steal from you, right? They'll lie to you, or they'll do things that maybe I don't like, other people don't like. And then contractors say that real estate investors, either we don't pay on time, we don't pay, or we want everything for free. And that can be the dynamic. Within the dynamic of real estate investors and contractors, kind of like the prices of homes, of exits, 360, 380, 400. People's behaviors and moral compasses and rule books are different. You have very great contractors, you have very great investors, you have shitty contractors, and you have shitty investors that put wig on a pig and sell a home to a single mom knowing that they have fire problems, right? And will lie and cover up with paint some things and then won't pay their contractors after they get the job done. It happens on both sides. But to answer that question, one of the things I always do is ask for a referral. So you hop in the community, you say, does anybody have a contractor? I'm telling you guys, this gentleman, Gerald, in our community, I trust Gerald. He will not lie to you. If you need information regarding contracting or referrals of a contractor, he does contracting. He's a good point to start with. I wouldn't just endorse him, but really anything is, I always ask somebody that has had some recent work done on their house. Social media and Facebook is a networking platform. People love to show the happiness and the beauty of their labor. They'll post like, oh man, I just got my kitchen remodeled. when I see something like that off DM and say, who did the work, right? Because if he did the work for you or she did the work for you, tell me about your experience. One of the experiences I see with contractors a lot, in my opinion, is if they're going to give you a bid, they want to force you and bully you into the deal. So I'll say, hey man, hey, how much you charge for a roof? I'll send you a picture. Oh no, I got to see the project. I got to see the project. That's true. They do have to see the project. But what happens, they'll come. This happened to me over 2 weeks ago. They'll come to the project. They'll give you an estimate, $17,000, another $2,100 for gutters. But when can I start? I need to know, because if I'm coming out here and you're not going to give me the job, don't waste my time. They're trying to bully you into the job. So one of the things you're going to learn is how to navigate the conversations with them and be able to listen to the red flags, because they're signs. Meaning that if somebody's a little too aggressive for you, or somebody doesn't want to show you the work, or they don't call you back, or they don't present generosity. When they come to the project and they're looking at the roof, do they say, hey man, great job, how long have you been investing? Look, it seems like you might want to do some foundation work here. I don't do foundation, but I have a connect for you. If I can help you, let's connect. Let's mastermind. Let's build together. Those are the relationships for me that always are so fruitful. Those are the same type of guys and gals that will drive by the house at night because they live in the neighborhood, and they'll call you 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what is this dude calling me for? Hello? Hey, Jake, sorry to call you late. Hey, I'm driving by your property, and I think I see somebody in there. That happened to me last night. I got a video of it. So with contractors, always take referrals. Who have they worked with that you know that can vouch for them? I think everybody in this community won't endorse somebody that doesn't do good work. We got another question now.
Now, you said that the guy came over, he was like, I can do it for cheaper, and then you ended up working with him. How do you balance the working with the cheapest versus working with the people that you have worked with, even if they're not the cheapest? How do you make sure that you're still giving your guys that trust and making having that loyalty?
I got you. You know, I mean, that you're hitting on a very vulnerable point for me, because I'm a loyal guy, right? If I'm always gonna pick my friends. It doesn't make a difference. If the police show up right now and say, who was on the live session? I'm gonna say nobody. They say, was Zach there? I'm gonna say, Zach who? Right? That's just my personality, right? And I try to remain ethical. I'm ethical, but I'm always gonna get my friends and families back. So I have a habit of always trying to work with the same people that produce the same type of work, and that can work. But inevitably what happens is the AC guy I typically work with, he didn't show up and he didn't call me back, right? And I give him a lot of work. I endorse him. So what allowed me to be more open to other AC guys is, man, as we continue to do work, sometimes he doesn't show up, and it's frustrating because I have stuff to do. Now, he's a great guy, but see, is it business or friendship when we're talking about this house? Because I have deadlines. And when I was able to discover a price that was over $2,000 cheaper, and I have a daughter. Do I leave $2,000 out there, or do I make sure that does something for my household? So it's a balance. But for me, I'm naturally always going to pick the people that I work with frequently. But also, I have to be open to seeing what other options are out there. Because just like the roofer, if he has somebody that's going to pay him more this week to get a job done, I'm sure he's going to go with the more money. So it's a balance. I like to work with people I work with historically and establish those trusts, because it allows you to be able to leverage your time and know that they're going to get it done. But you're always taking an audit of your different vendors. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. All right. Sarah, do you have something for me? Leonard, do you have something? Ulysses?
Can you tell me something a little bit more about like hard money lenders?
Let's do this. How about can you drop that question in our group? Because that could take some breath. And I promise you, I'll double back. I can't get it done in 30 seconds. That's an anthology. I got to show you by different chapters. But if you have a specific question for me, you have a specific question?
As far as specific questions, so when I do find a property that I'm interested in, I mean, where would I get the contracts? Like, how would I go about that?
The contractor or the contract?
Yes.
So I think now is a good time. But more than anything, if right now you got Gerald, and you have me, and you have Zach, and you have Ulysses. We all have contractors. Isaiah has contractors. Isaiah's in the Bay Area. Justin's in Sacramento. Zach's in Stockton and Tracy. Gerald's everywhere. If you have a property, we'll get somebody in front of you the same day.
Okay, so I think Joey told me about Gerald. Because that name does ring a bell.
Okay, Joey's my brother. Joey's a good guy. Yes, for sure. He's a good guy. Yeah, we all have contractors for you.
Yes. Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, can you hop in our conversation of our deal mastery and ask that question? Let's get that type of conversation. Sarah, that would be something I'd ask you to do. Ask one question is, does anybody have a contractor? And the second question is, how do you vet a contractor?
Not yet. Like I said, I'm all new to this, so I'm just trying to soak this all in right now, and so I'm just trying to intake everything. But I mainly want to like learn that and just learn about more of the contracts too behind it, so I have more knowledge behind that. So when I do get in full, like I like to say, full throttle,
right?
I'll understand what I know, what I'm speaking about.
Yeah,
so,
you're on your way. Let me share something with you. In the next couple of weeks, I have a property in Marin County that I'm taking down, knocking down. It's a luxury property. I'm going to be having actually an exclusive mastermind there. And there, I'm going to have a designer there. I'm going to have a contractor there, have some food there. It's going to be a walkthrough of the property. The property is very interesting because it is tore up in very bad shape. And if you've seen a lot of properties but never been able to walk through a property and be able to see it in advance, what are the problems, and this house has a lot of problems. And then in the near future, in about 4 months, when I'm done with the property, I'll have another mastermind there as well for you to see what happened in the beginning and what happened in the end. And most people never see that. And that's a very telltale sign, and it really closed the gap and allows you to have the confidence moving forward by saying, hey, okay, I saw this when it was tore up, and I asked the right questions. Now we're at this stage, and I understand the processes. It'll trigger different types of questions that'll really be able to help you on your journey. So I'll be putting all that information together real soon. It's about an hour and a half drive from Sacramento, hour and a half drive from Stockton. But if you guys are interested, just be on the lookout for that information. We got about 1 minute left. I want to thank you all again. Keep in mind, there's a variety of risks that come in real estate investing. This is just some of the risks that you look at when you're taking down deals. And this is how you set the right expectations as you're navigating things. I want to thank you all for joining. Instagram, I also want to thank you as well. If you guys have any further questions for the Deal Mastery, drop it in our conversation section. Let's keep grinding. I appreciate the engagement. Without further ado, thanks for coming out this Sunday. Let's make it happen. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Let's grind. Deal Mastery 101. Let's roll. Justin, right on. Zach, Leonard, Gerald, Sarah, good to see you. Liz, good to see you. Isaiah, keep grinding, brother. Brian, what's going on? Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. See you soon, okay?
Let me post this thing real quick.
I gotta pick this.
I know.
How do you know? I was moving around too much.
Yep.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
All right. I fixed the music in the middle of it, so we're solid. Straight up, fucking killer.
What was the other thing you were gonna tell me though?
I was gonna say, I would start out, preface, ask your questions at the end, go over all these points, nail them in, boom, 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 and then open up for Q&A at the end. And then what that'll allow you to do is actually get through it. It'll retain the audience there because you're just gonna be dropping so much game, and it'll eliminate some of those awkward pauses. Because there's sometimes when you like have like to call select people out, you don't need to do that. You just wait for everybody to ask their questions at the end. Make sure tell people, guys, write down your questions as you're going through them. Or even better, hey guys, as you guys have questions, drop them in the chat so you can remember them, and then we're gonna go over it at the end. That way you can nail through this stuff, and then you open up for questions, and then it's very clear. It's the clear separation versus what ended up happening, which is why when I told you to go like this, is then people start talking in the middle of it, and then it kind of gets lost. Because then it's like, okay, where's the bridge between these two? Okay, do you have any more? But when you nail all this down and tell everybody to shut up, and then at the end you give some time for discourse, because there's one time that Sarah was trying to figure shit out, and I was like, well, we got to retain the audience, because Instagram audience, if you're not pounding through it, they'll drop off. And we want to retain that attention. We don't want anyone to feel like they're bored.
And that's algorithm too. We need that for algorithm.
100%. And when people are watching, like rewatching it as well, because one of our last ones, the last live, I posted it, and it ended up getting like 4,000 or 5,000 views from a live. It's crazy. So I think those are the two notes. Don't tell people they're going to call you, and then have the structure of front half, the actual content, back half, Q&A.
So if it's 1 hour, how are we breaking down that time?
I'd say 30 and I'd say like 30/40 in the front half to 20 at the end.
So
30 to 20 at the end.
So the first 40, we're really going to get right into it. Maybe 5 minutes of hello and a win, and then straight into it. So
anybody that's new, have them do. I might not even have anybody do a quick intro now. I'd be like, hey, anybody that's new, I see you there. I see you there. Don't have them talk. Just be like, hey guys, make sure that you guys go in the school channel and drop who you are, what your experience is. And for you guys that are new, I absolutely want you asking at least one question in the back half Q&A. That way, that way I can help provide you value. So now you're like cultivating, right? You're pulling it out of them without wasting time. Because you start telling people, you start calling specific people out and telling them to talk. People want to talk. People want to talk for 60 seconds, but like time is of the utmost.
Don't call them Jake.
You only have, but here, think about it this way. You only have 60 60-second points. So if somebody is taking up, so if 3 people take up 60 seconds, now you only have 57 60-second points to get all this information done. So think about how valuable those are. Anyway, don't want it to take away from the fact that this was dope as shit. Fucking killer. 8 people on there, dude? Come on, give me another one. Give me another one.
And they didn't want to get off.
And you had 2 other people that weren't able to get on. Rich was one of them. He wasn't able to get on. I don't know. They said that something's wrong. I'm going to work with them and figure out what's going on.
I'm going to ask you a question. Because school's kind of giving me a hard time. Okay. So how do I send the link?
What link?
To the school channel. Is this it?
You can do that. I go to the About page, and then I share it from here. Oops.
Or
you can go to Invite.
I was looking for
share
that
group
one.
Invite.
Okay, because when we changed the structure to us granting the permission to not, I used to be able to find it on the permission page.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't. I usually do it for my laptop though, so it's a little easier. But I think we got additional few people into the school channel from that. I sent out 4 links. So
shit, I gotta do it for my dad. Shit.